Alright, today we're going to start chapter 7. We're looking at how to multiply monomials. Does anyone know what a monomial is?
It's a word that doesn't make sense.
Oh, it does make sense.
Not for us.
Mono means what?
One.
One. Okay, so we're talking about one term. Okay, so when we talk about that, a monomial is just either a number, a variable, or the product of the two. Bless you. So, if it gave you the number 10 and asked you if this was a monomial, would you say yes or no?
Yes.
Look at your definition.
Yes, it is.
Yes, because it's a number. Okay? So, 10 is a monomial. What if it gave you f plus 24?
No,
Why, Nick?
because that is not number.
That's true, but the definition says it could be a number or a variable.
It's not the product of them.
It's not the product. It's addition. Okay? This would be no. How many terms are there in that?
Two.
So instead of a monomial, it would be a
Binomial.
binomial. Okay? 2 terms. What about h squared?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, because h squared is what?
H times.
H times h. What about m times p over n?
No.
No.
What about x, y, z over 2?
No.
This one is yes. Can anyone tell me why? Why would this be yes and the other one would be no? Cage.
Because it's divided by a number.
Which is the same as doing what? Dividing by 2 is the same as doing what operation?
Multiplying.
Multiplying by 1/2. Okay? So, you could rewrite this, right, to say half xyz, correct? Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why this would be a monomial and the top one would not. Because you don't have a value for n on the top, so we can't say it's a monomial. Alright? Easy enough? Any questions on that? Okay? Alright, first thing we're going to do is if we have n squared times n to the 4th. Can anyone tell me how I would write this out without using exponents? Cage? It's not really a trick question.
It's just like 6 ends.
There we go. Okay, so when I talk about n squared times n to the 4th, what would my answer be?
10, 6.
N to the 6th power. So when you're multiplying things with the same base, what do you do to their exponent? Somebody said it. Add. Okay, so to multiply like bases, we're going to add the exponents. Reno, if I see that on your computer again, I'm going to take it and you'll never get it back.
That's a good thing.
I doubt that. Okay, so when do you add the exponents? When you're doing what operation? Multiplication only. All right? Okay, what if I have 6n to the 4th and I want to multiply that by 2n to the 7th? Anybody?
12 into the 11th.
Okay. Why do I not add 6 and 2?
Because you're multiplying that.
Yeah, because it's multiplication. Every year somebody tries to just add everything, right? But this is referring to exponents only. The rule for adding is for exponents only, okay? So regular numbers, you just do the operation that it asks for. So 6 times 2 would give you 12, and then you add the exponents because n has the same base, okay? Somebody else want to try this one? 3pt cubed times p cubed t to the 4th. Someone besides Nate? Reno?
3p cubed times 3t to the 7th.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Does anyone not agree? Someone should not agree.
Oh,
Can anyone explain to me why?
4p.
Why would it be 4p?
There's the 3p on the left and then one more on the
Yep. Okay. Any variable that doesn't have an exponent, it's understood to be 1. Okay. So don't forget to check that. If you need to write it in, write in that it has an exponent of 1. Okay, somebody else want to take this one? Nicholas?
24.
So regular numbers you multiply like normal, okay? R to what power? Say again.
6,
6.
x, 4, t, 4.
Very good. Notice t to the 4th because this is t to the 3rd. You could add in the 1 for t to the 1st. All right? How do we feel about that? Okay? All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is product of a power. Anybody still writing this down?
Yes.
Okay. What's up?
Why is there always an exponent for them?
For what?
Like on t, you made there be an exponent when there wasn't one.
Well, it's exactly like if you're talking about just x, what number is always in front of x that we don't write?
So it's only for variables.
Well, no, regular numbers have an exponent of 1 too. It just doesn't change anything. But like if you're just writing out x, we don't put an exponent of 1 because we're not doing anything with it, right? But when you're multiplying two things together, sometimes we want to write it in so we don't forget to add that extra 1. That's the only difference. Does that make sense? I mean, like if you plug in a number for t, like if we have t squared and it tells you that t is equal to 4, you don't have to write this down, I'm just showing to answer his question. What would you plug in for t?
4,
4, right? Well, what is 4 squared?
16.
Okay, well the same thing applies if you just have t. You can put t to the first power and still, if it tells you t is equal to 4, right? Well, we could put 4 to the first power, but what is 4 to the first power?
4.
It's just 4, okay? It's redundant. We don't really need that. Kind of like,
There's more to the.
what?
What if there's more to it? Like 4 to the first power plus.
It's not gonna matter, but that's what I'm saying. 4 to the first power doesn't change it. It's kind of like if you have x is equal to 3. Well, do we always put a 1 in front of that and then say 1 times 3?
I think I understand it now.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we don't say 1 times 3 because it's not going to change anything. So it's the same idea with an exponent of 1. It just doesn't change it. Yes? Okay. So when you see multiplication, if they have the same base, you add your exponents, all right? Now, power to power is a little bit different. So let's say we have an exponent, and we're going to do b cubed, and then we're going to cube that. Can anyone tell me how I would write that out? Like if we were going to write out what does b cubed mean? Right.
B cubed times B cubed times B cubed.
Yeah. Okay. Then, using what we just talked about, if I multiply b cubed times b cubed times b cubed, what would that give me as an answer?
B9.
B to the ninth. Now, is there an easier way to get to b to the ninth?
Just multiply by 3.
Yes. So, your rule is when it's power to power, you multiply your exponents. Does everyone see the difference in this problem and the one we started with when it was multiplication? I'll flip back, okay? But here's what I want you to see. Look at our first problem, n squared times n to the fourth, okay? So the operation is multiplying, so we just add the exponents. Here, the operation is raising it to another exponent, that's why you multiply, okay? All right, so what if I have n cubed times p all to the fourth power?
N to the 12th times e to the 4th.
Why is it p to the fourth?
Because it already has the 1.
Yes, because if you put in a 1 and you multiply, 1 times 4 would give you 4. Okay? What if it gave you this? Two squared, and then we're going to square it, and then take it to the fourth power.
Multiply all the exponents.
Yeah, just multiply all your exponents. What's 2 times 2?
4 more.
What's 4 times 4?
16.
Now, could you actually take 2 to the 16th power? Yes. It's going to give you a really large number. It's not going to ask you to do that. But anytime you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you just multiply them. Okay? All right. I'm going to show you one more example, and then we'll be done. Let's do this one. Anybody want to try it?
No.
You can do it.
Grayson wants to.
All right, Grayson. What would you want to do first, Grayson?
What the number, the whole number?
Not yet.
Do the power to power.
Yes, the exponents. So the two that have an exponent of 2 on the outside, you need to get rid of those first. So nothing happens with this one. What happens to that second set of parentheses when I square everything inside of it?
You get 6, or negative 6,
Hmm,
negative 9,
you're getting closer.
9.
Yeah, because it's negative 3 squared. Negative 3 times itself will give you positive 9. Okay, what about your exponents?
And then
G squared, j to the,
8.
yeah. Okay, same thing. We're squaring negative 1. What would that give you? Positive 1. And then multiplying your exponents.
B squared, 3 squared, 8 squared.
Okay, now we're looking at multiplication. So regular numbers we multiply. What are you going to do with your exponents now?
Add them.
Yes. Okay, so multiply those numbers. Negative 2 times 9 times 1.
Negative 8.
Okay, we're going to add our exponents. So g cubed plus g squared would give you g to the plus g squared.
7.
All right, for h, you have 1 and 2 for a total of, and then for j, it's 8 and 2. Good. All right, so it's the same idea. You guys, it's just like order of operations. Doesn't order of operations say to get rid of exponents before you multiply? So it's the same idea here. If you have exponents, you get rid of those first, exponents on the outside, then you multiply everything. All right, any questions? Okay, your assignment is on Alex. Make sure you show your work. Honestly, your work pretty much is to write down the problem and then probably write your answer, okay?